assuming that's the one there, yes. Actually, I was expecting those two to be on the last aetherite, but it wasn't. I was actually kind of surprised it popped up so soon.
You guys don't have much more.
Well, we will if they keep throwing Oriange stuff like that at me. I have to buy all new computer equipment because it'll be all waterlogged. Can't do that to me, game. I'm in the basement. I don't want to flood myself out of here. Alright, there's LSA. Dragonfire, what are you doing out here? I'm to assist you, of course. No, I don't mind if you help with the boxes, but it's far from the most exciting of tasks, are you sure? Well, I appreciate the assistance. We need to get these to Aporia. Time is short, of course, but they're full of organic specimens and samples, so try not to be too rough with them. Alphano should be waiting for us when we arrive. I'll see you there. Deliver the crate of samples to Alphano. You will have 3 minutes to complete the task. Should you fail, return to the starting location. So it's not 3 minutes. It's infinite minutes, but 3 minutes to complete it, to win. Oh, am I going the wrong way? Yes, I am. I have already officially failed. Oh, and I can't even sprint.
Where are you going?
To the marker.
Just follow the road.
Why would I need to follow the road? It's the fastest way to between 2 points is a straight line. And if you're gonna do a circle,
It's a four-dimensional universe.
And if you're gonna do a circle, the inner portion is always faster too because you're closer. Is this?
One of the rabbits is named Wobbling Way.
Don't you remember Wobbling Way? Or are you going to get the ability to fly at the moon?
Yeah, I have to do it all this.
Oh, you're helping with the crates. Wonderful. You can put that there with the others. You have my gratitude, but how did you come to be involved in this? Then I suppose I have Thanker to thank as well. If you're wondering why we were tasked with bringing these boxes to Aporia to begin with, so was I. It turns out that this is a base of operations of sort. Those with final say as to what is included in the ship's manifest can be found here. Father included, I suspect. That should be everything. You carried all of that at once? Are you trying to injure yourself? Oh hush, they're lighter than they look, and not everyone has your delicate arms. I suppose we should let someone know that we're finished. Oh man. Female character calling the male character weak. Awesome.
Well, Alphino is pretty much the pansy of the two.
The Apollodon is in the courtyard. We can report to him. Why don't you come along? You should get credit for your assistance. At least considering where we are, we might even learn something interesting. Okay. Is that the way in there? Gods, it never ends, does it? So, what can I do for you? We've brought samples from Charlian Hamlet, Series 110. The crates are by the entrance. Thank you. I had expected one of my colleagues, but we are dreadfully short-handed. Just a moment. You are Fortuno's children, are you not? Alphino and Alizé at your service. You're well acquainted with Father, I take it? Quite. I've been friends with your parents since our days at the studium. I remember when you were yay high, waddling hither and thither. Clearly, it's been quite some time since we've met. 'Tis good to see you again, wielding your father's nautilus, no less. You knew our parents when they were young? What were they like? Pray spare no detail. I should like nothing more than to regale you. Alas, I am meant to be in charge here, and reams of paperwork want for submission. We can help with that in exchange for the sort of stories our parents would never willingly divulge, of course. Very well then. There happens to be 3 sets of documents in need of delivery, so how about you each take one? Wait right there. You will find a forum representative waiting to collect these near the southernmost structure. I hope I haven't kept her waiting too long. Never mind Alphino and Alizé, I'm certain they will be back soon enough. Okay, so what do you say? Deliver the marine documents to the reserve representative. Right back there. Are you not one of the Scions of the Seven Dawn? I thought you were meant to be working on the Ether Burner. The Apollodon's paperwork. I was beginning to worry he had misplaced his quill. I appreciate your help in seeing these documents to my hand, at last, as far as your other tasks. Pray keep this between us, but I sincerely hope you science succeed. The Exodus is without a doubt the most monumental undertaking in the history of the Forum, and we must be circumspect in all respects. Risk is a privilege we cannot afford ourselves. At its heart, however, Charlian has ever been a nation of the curious. It would be a tragedy indeed if we were the ones to stymie your pursuit of the truth. There. Another box. Yes, I did. That. Hey, Theopolitan. Quick and efficient. I dare say you have a talent for this work. The twins' papers only needed be delivered to elsewhere in the facility, so they should be returning any moment. We return with not a scrape of paperwork remaining on our person, you will note. You both have my thanks, and my apologies for sending you on an errand far below your ambitions. Why, even as a baby struggled out of your swaddling clothes, and that is quite enough of that, thank you. It was compromising stories of our parents that we asked to hear, to reiterate. Oh, jeez. Of course. I know your father for so long. I must have something. Well, as you know, part of why the Levier name garners such respect in Charlene is your family's storied history. You too can trace your ancestry directly to those who came abroad, none creeps hope, a lineage few can claim. Never thought much of it myself. It's not as though our forebears founded our nation, they were simply there when it happened. Nevertheless, it has traditionally been a point of pride. 'Tis why the Nuncrep's pronouncement renounce the ways of war and peruse enlightenment through knowledge and reason has ever been our family creed. Until your grandfather's time, Archon Louisois looked not to the Nuncrep's words, but his deeds. He asserted in defiance of his peers that choosing to save the great and the small from the rising tides was the true mark of our founder's virtue. Perhaps it was his expertise, his knowledge of ancient prophecy, and the fall of civilizations that led to him to conclude that to eschew conflict at every turn was to co-assign mankind to his doom. There will ever be conflict and calamity will follow. Thus, to ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, it is indulgence. You remember his words. Well, indeed, Archon Louisois lived by the personal creed and used every means at his disposal to bring succor to those in need, Charlie and Arnaud. No one loved and admired your grandfather more than his son. Yet Fortuneau could not reconcile Louisois' deeds with the philosophy of their forebears and his peers, a philosophy in which he believed so fervently, yet made a pariah of his father. Fortuneau agonized over his contradictions for much of his life. God's father. A son may carry his father's blood, but his choices are his own to bear. Is it not always thus? God no Fortuneau, a cranky old goat, so I'm sure you butt heads often enough. Yet even so, you must know that you are constantly in his thoughts, every moment of every day, and that is not an aggravation in the slightest. You should have seen him when you were born, barely recognizable. He was with a kind of dumbfounded grin I'd not seen since he first took a fancy to your mother. He was practically skipping when he told me the news. Take my word for it, he loves you to an embarrassing degree. But he is also frustratingly single-minded. Once he's decided that a given action is for the best, he will stay the course no matter who or what opposes him. A profoundly annoying habit when you're on the other end of it, as I'm sure you will agree. I'll say. Thank you for your insight. When next we meet our parents, I shall mention that we spoke. Try not to get me into too much trouble now. I need the forum on my side. Speaking of which, I ought to be getting back to work. I have to make sure those specimens you brought make it to their proper place, or the cranky old goat will have my hide. We can speak again later. Hail you there. Graha! Graha, surely Coco hasn't driven you out of the forge already? For better or for worse, no. However, he has set me a task that requires more than my single pair of hands, and here you are. I could use at least one of you, but I won't eject two more. Fortunately, Alize and I have prior commitments, and we have delayed too long as it is. What about you, Dragonfire? Can you spare the time? Perfect. This shouldn't take long. An unspecific task awaits you. In the events that are, and I quote, promised heap of adamantite falls right out of the bloody sky and into my lap, Master Coco wishes to be ready to put the proverbial hammer to anvil at a moment's notice. To fabricate these parts, however, he needs the flame in Coco's forge. To burn hotter, he sent me to increase the amount of either being funneled to his furnaces. The flow of fire aspected either in Labyrinthos is regulated by an elemental reactor south of here to which I have borrowed the key. The adjustment will require 2 people to carry out safely, but I can explain the process when we arrive. This is where we part then. We'll see you in Charlene Hammett once the adamantite arrives, if not before. This way then. Going over here to continue with the story. Help Graha to fire up the furnace. The reactor is housed within this facility. I'll be the one to go inside and adjust the fire either output. When I do, a rather large amount of water, I expect ether, will issue from the vent at the top. I expect this to extract at least a few elementals, which we would both rather not be drawn into the reactor itself, trust me. Can I ask that you put down any that draw too near? They pose you little trouble, I'm sure. You just need to give them that little aether, that little sprite feed that we were using in Elpis. Right here, if you would. And nice. Where do I go? Oh, there it is. I got my buddy. And now let's take out this thing. Where's my sound? Did I break the game? Did I blew up the audio in here too? No, I think I just turned it down too low. That's what I did.
What's wrong with your bird?
Nothing. What do you mean, what's wrong with my bird?
Looks like a lizard. Doesn't look like a bird.
It's Shinru. Doesn't look like a lizard. I don't know. You don't know what lizards look like. If you think that looks like a lizard,
It does. Looks like a lizard.
it is Shinru. See, look at that. Dragon helmet, dragon wings, dragon tail. With the body. So it's kind of like Shinru's body going along here and around kind of thing.
Hurry up, man. I'm waiting for you.
You hurry up, jerk. Did everything go smoothly out there? Yes, it did. I thought as much. No major complications to speak of inside either. And the water either appears to be venting properly. I expect Coco will have seen a difference in his forge flame by the time I return. Since I have you, there was another matter I thought to discuss with you. Nothing terribly important, merely something I've been considering. Part of this I shared with everyone, yet you and only you have been to help us. As we have established, refined adamantite is a product of Aleg, of the Empire, Twilight years, in fact. It was a material which saw much use as part of the Elegant's efforts to extend beyond the bounds of this world, Dalamund, of course, being the most prominent. Of those who would push further, expand Aleg's empire to encompass the heavens and the stars above, perhaps the greatest was its infamous technologist, Amon. Amon wanted to travel the Sea of Stars. Did he remember his life as Hermes? Well, no, he wasn't Hermes right off the bat, I don't think. He only got pushed into the role when the other one stepped down.
His original name.
Yeah, Hermes is the one that took in Fandaniel's position. Amon is a different person.
Who became a Fandaniel.
Who became Fandaniel. So Amon and Hermes aren't the same person. At least they are eventually through the combined Fandaniel. But I don't think Hermes came into the world as Amon and then Fandaniel. No, because he was Fandaniel. So he did. He must have had his own reasons, however, for there is no evidence to suggest that he retained memories of his life as an ancient. He only joined the Asians once the Empire was only but dust, as you know. See? I was right. If not his memory, though, what drove him to pursue the idea with such fever? This may seem far-fetched, but what if souls like minds have a personality, so to speak, and natural dispositions towards which they are inclined? We know with relative certainty that it was the gross decadence and inexorable inexorable decline of Eleg that moved Amon to resurrect Emperor Zandi. The Empire's people spoke lightly of death and destruction, experimenting on those they deemed beneath them to fill the emptiness in their hearts. In facilitating Zandi's return, Amon provided these languid souls with the means to free themselves from the mire of their own indulgence. Or would have had not Zandi been convinced by his own death that life itself was meaningless. Amon's desire for his countrymen to conquer the heavens could only be a means to the same end, to instill the people with new purpose. Like Hermes before him, Amon was appalled by how those around him lived, but could never bring himself to believe that those lives were devoid of meaning. And both of them sought that meaning, that hope, in the distant stars. Such is my theory anyway. Ultimately, it is the consequences of their actions which matter. Their motives are of no moment and yet. So it sounds like Amon was almost like a recreation of Hermes, having similar, even though different lifetimes and stuff like that, having similar thoughts, similar kind of things, and both reacting in a similar manner. To reach those stars on wings of adamantite, to travel to the ends of creation and beyond, the promise of hope everlasting. That much I do understand. But enough musing for now. Why don't we see how Cocoles is getting on?
I may end up running the dungeon and go to bed.
Why, we almost to the dungeon?
So he is. You might not be because there's a lot of cutscene coming up.
Well, you can always run with 0, and that's not a big deal. I can always do it later. I got some lost time to catch up with, unfortunately. Ugh. Hoppity. Almost there. There you are. Phew, I can feel those flames ablazing from here. Glad you found someone capable, Graha, but there's not much left for you lot to do. Unless you can conjure up that refined adamantite any faster. There's the last aetherite crystal thingy. Coco Dankle is, as usual, worked up over the ether burner. But I do trust you to deliver on your promise. I do only. I hate waiting, and I want that adamantite, and I want it now. Jeez. We share your impatience, I assure you. Is there truly nothing else we can assist you with in the meantime? I wish this sitting about unbearable. Pity the form frowns on recreational explosions. Well, so long as they can't prove it with premeditated get you gone. I have a mistake to make. In that case, I suppose I should go and return the key to the reactor. I have one more look to make sure that nothing has gone wrong, unintentionally or otherwise. I'm certain there's a better use for your time, however, I will join you in Charlene Hammond unknown. Okay, so now we're going back over there, but at least this one I can use the teleporter. Okay, where are you? Over there. Zero currently is now. If you wait here, your companions are bound to turn up sooner or later. Wait, yes. That there. All set, I take it. We finished what we could, delivered supplies, tracked down escaped animals, trivial tasks as they may be. That's enough, don't you think? If there was anything more important still undone, that would be a problem in itself. The vessel is essentially ready for departure. All that remains is to load the final batch of supplies and see anyone on board. Once we've readied the ether burner, that is. Had a feeling we might find you all here. Our consolations with the Loporits too have run their course. Pleased I am to say that our researchers concerned have for the most part been allied, though some insist on making adjustments to the very end. For their part, Livingway and her peers have graciously offered to stay and keep the people company, lest any lingering queries go unanswered. All that remains is to wait for the refined adamantite. Alphino, are you there? It's me, Cryo. Your special delivery has arrived. Round up everyone and come to the harbor at once. Speaking of the devil, let's us go at once. Forgive the intrusion, Master Fortuno. I bring urgent news. A great commotion has broken out in Scholar's Harbor. Your presence is requested with all haste. Gotta stop looking at Zero's cutscene. Now where might it be? Oh? Ravenaster's ship. The 12. Surely these can all be. The pirates, or the sky pirates. Bleeding hellfire! They're bringing in by sea and air all these folks in these crates. And more on the way. Got your animatite right here. A bigger haul than any of these sorry bastards brought, and that's no lie. And here he Yes, because you were charged with seeing the shipment from Gridania and Ulda here along with your own. Give credit where credit is due. Sounds like the sorry winging of a sore loser and a hypocrite to boot. Ain't no way a scrawny whelp like you took a dozen steps inside a Dalaman shard. I have you know, I went all the way to the entrance. Furthermore, it was my contacts that enabled us to enlist the cooperations of the Sky Pirates. Left you outside so you wouldn't get anyone killed, did they? Well then, credits where credits due. You did a right fine job sitting on your arse. Oh my god. I just lost picking his ass. My, what a grand welcome party. Hancock and Sorbonne. We come bearing relics, both sacred and elegant, as well as a few other gifts that may be of help, to be presented with best wishes from the Eastern Alliance. Our friends in Baja, for instance, have sent along a few artifacts for the brave allies of Ravenastar. Thank you. And we brought a number of items from Eureka as well, courtesy of one Jika Sunjika. He says a little advance warning would have been appreciated by the by. I myself have come with a sacred relic of Risen Temple. 'Twas passing fortunate that Senri Dongo's craving brought us to Kugani. We arrived precisely as Hancock was making his arrangements. Upon learning of your needs, we made haste back to Hell's Lid with our Dongos Never Fear, and consulted with the other auspicious. All consented to the lending of Tenzin's legendary Phoenix Blade for this noble cause. Suzaku and Shiru were nevertheless worried that it might be lost in transit, however, and insisted upon accompanying me to Onokuro, where I had intended to entrust it to our Confederate allies. I thought instead to give it over to Hancock when we chanced to cross paths yet again, but alas, Siru remained ill at ease and ordered me to see the blade into your hands personally or die trying. We did, of course, need quite the impressive vessel to get it all here in time. Fortunately, our Majestics associates have been more than helpful. 'Tis an honor to join the Warrior of Light on another adventure, they'll tell me. That is all wonderful to hear, but what of the extraordinary cost? I shudder to think of the ransom we must pay for such a bounty. Fret not for your coin purse, young Alphino. Lord Lolorito looked ever towards the profit of the future, and thus the East Aldenard's trading company went to some lengths to reduce the financial liability. And since the Science funded the entire venture, not a guild needed to be rendered up in compensation. Everything is already yours. We funded the venture when? Totaro, don't let the name fool you. The coin keeper knows. It's going by fast again. When it comes to capital and investure, a sparkling of gil here and there will not do. You need enough saving to make waves when it really counts, which is why frugality is paramount. We also had the benefit of a generous patron, generous being rather an understatement. She has supported us from the shadows since the very founding of the signs, ere we even had coffers to fill. Oh, that's hilarious. The mother's been the founder of the science since day one. Oh my god. Oh, that's fucking awesome. I remain, of course, an entirely neutral party. I simply thought our family's coffers were needlessly full. We can hardly take them with us on your teeny tiny boat, now can we? And 'twould be a shame to leave all that hard-earned wealth unspent. Oh god, that is awesome. Fortunato is just getting left in the dust at this point. He has no control over any of the situation. However, did you manage so much in so short a time, though? We expected were to reach only a fraction of our allies. Did I not tell you I have my ways? Ironvale, you were involved too? I received a letter from Kryl after we parted ways in Labyrinthos. She explained what the signs were trying to accomplish and why you might soon require the service of the Gleaners spread across the world as we are. I pray you do not interpret this as a betrayal of Charlian. I accept that the forum's aim is pushing us to our limits, was to preserve what knowledge we have, and I bear you no ill will for it. Yet in collecting that knowledge, what I came to appreciate most about our star is that there remains so much we do not know. And that is why I choose to help the Scions to combat the obliteration of those countless undiscovered wonders. I had no illusion that they would be less demanding taskmasters. Though rest assured, if I had, I would have been sorely disappointed. To make a long story short, the whole of the guild ship cooperated to ensure your call was heard far and wide. Hey, it's Omega and Alpha! With Sid, Badge and Wigs. Or Wedge and Biggs. I said that completely backwards.
Badge
Why,
and Wig.
why didn't you mention it sooner? The one time you don't beg my aid. Oh man, why they gotta make Sid? You brought the team. Of course, Garland Ironworks finest. You need only point us towards my new favorite ship. Oh, I nearly forgot. We stopped by Rarlet before coming here and picked up a package from Gaius. He's still of the mind that actions make for better penance than words, contrite or otherwise, so he offered none of the latter. What he sent is an elegant relic Valen used in his weapons experiments. Has a fair bit of refined adamantite in it too. As you like as not suspect, we've also brought adamantite from Mardona's Della Monchard. I admit to some consternations upon first receiving Krau's message, so few scions remain at the Rising Stone now, far too few for such an expedition. However, the Gleaners were able to secure us reinforcements, Idleshire treasure hunters, not least among them. And ho, how the Gobby flock fought. Slowfix's gratitude for the safe return of his daughter has not waned, and he gathered his kin to our sides with an astounding quickness. The clash between their machina and the elegant defenses was a sight to behold. I wager even you would have been impressed by the magnitude of the Gobby booms. Fascinating as all this is, I fail to see how it explains your presence here. Does Razadhan not have more pressing concerns? We do, yet averting the final days would be the most expedient solution. That I am indebted to you. Though they choose to take their leave of Thavnir, those you've saved in Garlemald remain my people. My gratitude is beyond words. 'Tis appropriate that I aid you in kind, if in the doing we bring salvation to others of this star, so much the better. You will recall that I spoke of my father, Midgar Soma, and his journey across the great expanse. As he traveled betwixt the stars, his resplendent scales drank of the ether in those nigh empty surrounds, and imparted to him the strength to persevere. Thinking they might further your cause, I called out to my kin for consent. As Daja answer was silent as ever, Tiamat and Horace Felger, however, responded favorably to the suggestion. My sire too stirred from his slumber long enough to speak and say, "Very well. Thus have I brought you his own worm scales, fit them to your purpose, and seek a worthier fate for us all." You'd be hard-pressed to find someone else so familiar with the unique properties of dragon scales, so I invited myself along. Bugger me, this is so unbelievable. I've gone right back round to believing it again. Forget a 6% gain in efficiency. With all these goodies, we could get 7, no 10, no 14 bleeding percent. Think of how far we could go, what we could do with that much power, what we could blow up. If Coco is duly convinced, then it must be true, in which case the science end of the bargain has been fulfilled. Would you not agree? Yes, Father? I know not what you seek of Heidelin, nor for what purpose you would take command of our ship. Yet, this much is certain, to do so will be to dictate the fate of this star and the lives upon it. The lives of each and every creature in their magnitude and their fragility. Do you understand, and are you prepared? We have seen, we have felt how much each life shapes this world, and so we are determined to abandon no one or none. We understand what is at stake, and we are prepared to bear this burden. Then I will bear it with you. I beg you, share your struggles with me as a family. You grasped my finger with such tiny hands the day you were born. I thought my heart might burst. 'Twas love and happiness beyond expression, overwhelming, and a conviction so powerful that I tremble with something close to rage. I heard the final day foretold. I swore to myself then and there that I would not let them steal your futures. The great exodus would must succeed. No sacrifice or sin was worse than the alternative. If anything gave me pause, 'twas my own father. The Archon Louisois openly decried Charlemagne policies, a perspective which I regarded with increasingly disdain as I grew older. Yet even as part of me thought him a fool, perhaps I also hoped that he of all people would devise a brilliant means to save my children. A naive hope, but stubborn enough that I could never bring myself to keep you apart. No, that was his doing when he perished at Cartano. As we pulled that twisted slab of Dolomon from the sea, I remembered the warmth of your newborn touch. Chastened, I vowed never again to suffer any interference in my mission to protect you. No matter that you yourselves wished otherwise. To test me, fight me tooth and nail, I would suffer it and more, and be satisfied so long as I could force you onto that ship. I was wrong. You two have grown so much stronger and so much wiser than I dared dream. You have earned the right to walk your own path and already begun to do so. Good, because there are things we care about and people we love, and none of them is replaceable, not one. It cannot have been an easy journey for you to have come so far. We shall be glad to acquaint you with the finer details someday, once this danger has passed. All that we have seen and heard, that we have felt and learned in our travels. Ours is not a kind world, but it is a beautiful always. No, Oh no, are you quite sure that that's wise? After all, someone turns pale and flees the room when he sees so much as an envelope containing words of your adventures. Whatever will happen if he learns what you really were up to. Emelicinian. Wow, can't even say that name. Though I have wronged my children most gravely, I owe you an apology as well. I assume that it was the Science influence that made them so keen to change headlong into danger. Yours in particular. I see now that said influence instead brought them together with the many fine people gathered here today. In which case I hope you continue to guide them. If we finish loitering about the harbor, might I suggest we put our plans into motion? People are beginning to look confused. Perhaps you can spare a few words ere they resume the tedious lugging of cargo. You've no small number of friends and admirers here after all. Lend us your strength. Our moment of triumph is close at hand. Our moment of triumph is close at hand. Your assistance is appreciated. Now, in an orderly fashion, if you please. Assuming Zero's at the dungeon. Alphano. We finally managed to clear the harbor, which means the rest is in the engineer's capable hands. Meanwhile, Father has issued to us an invitation. As was agreed, he will reveal the means by which Heidelin may be contacted. We are to meet him at Aploria when we're ready. Given the vital knowledge he holds, I suggest we leave without delay. It transpires, however, that the forum method of speaking with her is not without risk. I am curious to hear what those might entail, but regardless, be warned. Most of those who arrived with the Animatite have offered to stay and see to any remaining tasks that need doing. The forum has already asked for my assistance in overseeing the process, so you needn't worry about a thing. Thank you, Tataru. We're off to Aproria then. Okay, so now we gotta go to wherever that spot is. Down there. Awesome. Show us Fortuno. Looking for I have already shown the others inside. you will want to speak with Clarinine. She has the key to the lift and can send you down after me. Finally, to the final area of this area. You're with Master Fortuno, yes? Just step inside the lift here.